What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Pam, and today I have another episode of Repot with me, and today's special guest is my dear friend Scott from Scott Grows an Avocado Tree, and I'm gonna let him say hi and introduce himself, and then we're gonna do some repotting.
G'day Pam, thanks so much for having me. Yes, my name is Scott. I'm an avocado enthusiast, and I am from the channel Scott Grows an Avocado Tree, where I make videos about avocado trees and other plant-related things from time to time. It's lots of fun, and I am so excited to do some repotting today. I'm not actually repotting any avocados, but I've got some other plants to repot.
Yes, I was wondering if an avocado would make an appearance.
I do have some that need repotting, but I'm going to do them for a video. There's some specific things that I want to talk about.
Yes, you can't waste it, you know. It's like, people don't understand when you're a plant tuber, it becomes this, all of your plant chores become an opportunity to make a video, and then sometimes it's like, well, I can't do it until I can make a video, and I can't make a video right now, so then I don't do it.
It really is. There's a lot of juggling of things between what needs doing and what needs filming, and it's tricky.
It is a whole process. So what do you have to repot?
Okay, so I have got this cutting of a marble queen pothos, which has been in water for way too long. So we're going to be putting that in soil today, and I might do this one first because I've just pulled it out and it's not going back in. So we'll do that one first. I've also got a cutting of a begonia maculata, and I've got a Monstera deliciosa, which has been in this pot for far too long and is looking quite sad. So we're going to be giving it a bigger pot today and a new moss pole. What are you potting today, Pam?
I have got this Philodendron brantianum from my Equigenera order recently. She's got some nice little brand new roots in here. Let's see if I can, there we go. Yeah, I'll show you on the phone. There we go. For those of you at home, Scott and I are looking at each other, but also at a camera. So if I don't look like I'm looking at you, that's why. So I'm gonna repot this one today, and it may need a little bit of a pole, so I've got some equipment here. We're gonna see how that goes.
Because you've just released some predatory mites, haven't you, Pam? So you are
I did.
A little short on plants to repot right now because you don't want to disturb them.
I did. And I have so many that really could use it, but when you get the package, it's like, you need to let these go now, preferably 5 minutes ago. So I had to like jump in the shower and then get all my stuff ready to like film, and then just to film like the actual process, because once again, we can't waste it. It's an opportunity to show people.
You gotta make that content.
Yes. Plus I get asked about them all the time, so I really wanted to show people that they're not that scary.
I am intrigued to see, because of course, I don't know when that video is coming out, but I'm assuming it's after. I haven't seen it yet. It doesn't exist, so I'm very curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, well, you and I don't know when that's coming out, so it's two of us.
Sometimes we just film things and then eventually they get produced into a video. All right, are you drinking anything this evening, Pam? It's morning for me. It's nearly 10 o'clock in the morning here. So I've got coffee.
I am, yes. This interview required a little bit of time traveling on our behalf. I have some coffee as well. So instead of the usual me talking slower over the interview, I will be talking faster. Well, I figure I'd tell the people how I found you. I was perusing PlantTube back in the day. As I was getting...
This was a few years... How long have we been friends, Pam?
Well, it's been 2 years of pandemic, and it was before that, so...
It was before that. Was it the end of 2019?
Probably.
That we became friends?
Probably.
I think that's when you made a video, which you're about to tell us about.
Yes, and that was... Which one was that? Was that the... Which collab did I have you come in on? I don't remember.
You made a video... showcasing your favorite plant tubers under 1,000 subscribers.
Okay.
And at this time, I had like 150 subscribers.
That's right.
Or something. It was not even that, maybe. It might have just cracked 100.
Did I tell you I was going to do that?
No, it was a surprise.
Oh, okay. Well,
Was it a surprise? I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but that saw my audience essentially double overnight, which from 150 to 300 is not a huge jump, but for me it was like, what's going on? This is groundbreaking.
I was definitely
I
a
love
little
this.
drunk on that power. I was like, yes, I can make people I like get more subscribers.
That was brilliant. Since then, I think we have just we chat, we talk about plants, we talk about YouTube, we talk about things that annoy us.
Yes.
And that's been really lovely.
Yes, it has. And
we make things together sometimes.
Yes, I remember just like finding this incredibly good video creator, and I'm like, what is this guy's story? He's got a whole channel on avocados. How did you end up getting a whole channel on specifically avocados?
That's a good question. I think I'm a fairly impulsive person, and a long time ago, my channel's nearly 4 years old. So in April, I've been making videos for 4 years, which is wow, that's happened.
Yep.
And it was one April morning. I think I might have been on a mid-semester break. I don't remember. I was at university at the time. My wife was at work. This was a Saturday morning. I'd just gone for a good run, and it was time to make breakfast, and I had a big cooked breakfast, and an avocado was part of that. And I thought, I love making videos. I've had YouTube channels in the past, and I thought, what if I make a YouTube channel where I just document this avocado tree growing? And so that was the first kind of year of Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. The videos were kind of 2 or 3 minutes long. I would film it, I would record my narration and post it the same day. And that was all I did through essentially like a year. And after that, I started branching out a little bit. I was like, I'm really interested in these plants because I didn't have a lot of indoor plants at that time. I was more interested in gardening outside. And I started making other videos here and there. I love the science side of things, like why plants are the way they are, what's happening, explaining different phenomena that are happening. And things just kind of evolved from there into where it is today. The first avocado tree, Norbert, we ended up naming. I hosted a poll. It was a lot of fun with the 12 people or something that participated in that. We named it Norbert, and it never grew a shoot. Just lots of roots, and it died. So that was
rip.
Very sad. But now the kind of premise of my channel is still the same. Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. I've had a couple of other attempts. Growing it in water and toothpick method turns out is not the most effective way to grow avocado trees. But at the moment, the current attempt is doing splendidly. I've got lots of trees because I'm doing multiple trees at once because you have a better chance of success. They're in a fish tank, similar to the one behind me. I've actually got an avocado in this one, which has been in here for a year and a half, which I might one day pot up. I don't know. It's not going to live for heaps longer if I don't, because it can only get so much from the fish water. There's lots of nitrogen. There's nitrogen, but that's about it. But they're currently in a fish tank. They're about 4 months old. They're doing really well. I pruned them a couple of weeks ago, and actually the video of that hasn't come out yet. That's coming out in February. So sneak peek for all of you, if this comes out before then.
It would.
I'm not sure if
Yeah, probably. Let's hope.
And they're starting to regrow, which is great.
Excellent.
So I think that's kind of what I've been doing with Scott Grows an Avocado Tree.
Yes, and like YouTube education channels will tell you when you get started making a channel to niche down. They always say niche down, niche down, niche down. Scott niched all the way down and is now, when you search avocados on YouTube, it's you. There's a few other channels here and there. There might be a video here and there, but for the most part, it's like Scott's videos. So now, where are you going now? Like, what's next? I know you have some, but tell the people.
So thank you, Pam. Yes, I have niched down a lot, and I've really enjoyed just playing in this space of really delving into really specific things about avocados, and that's going to continue. I've kind of made weekly videos for the last 2 years, which I've really enjoyed, but I am ready to spread my wings a little more. And I really love making educational content, kind of explainer videos where I walk through a process or a different idea, information. And I'm starting a new channel called That's Pretty Cool because I just like talking about things that I find cool and nerding out about them. So if you've watched my videos before, very similar style. So I'll talk about things, I'll have cuts away to where I draw stuff, have stop motion, have really lots of practical effects, which I love. And we'll talk about just lots of different interesting things. So the first video is I probably should have split it into smaller ones. I'm just going to make a video about trees because trees are awesome.
Trees
all
are
the things
awesome.
that they do and how they work and how important they are. It's just like, there's so many just interesting things that I have had my mind blown over the years about trees. And so I decided to start the channel with that. It's in the really exciting and interesting part of a YouTube channel's life where I'm still working out exactly what it is. So I'm going to be trying a few different things over the next 6 months, but the crux of it is I'm just going to talk about things which I find really interesting. It's going to be educational. I hope that you are going to learn things and be filled with a sense of wonder about the world around us and what people have done. And
I love that.
It's going to be fun.
And I'll be able to link people to it, right? Because it's already a thing.
You can absolutely. Pam has been kind enough to put a link in the description below and possibly even at the end of this video.
Yes, I can do that. I'm very excited for it. I think it's interesting how the climate on YouTube has sort of evolved in the 2.5 years that we've been doing it, and even especially on PlantTube where there was this kind of, it felt like kind of a secret club at first, you know. It was just like this little thing that certain people had in common, and we were all really excited about it. And it was like, ooh, it's like a resurgence.
There was a period of time, I think, like the end of 2019, start of 2020, where there weren't many of us.
Yeah, and it felt
and we all kind of knew each other. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, and which is great. I mean, it's always like that in the beginning and stuff. And then hit the pandemic and the houseplant boom. And I feel like that really changed the content that people were watching on PlantTube quite a bit. And it went from being kind of educational focused for the most part to a lot more lifestyle focused and aesthetic focused and stuff like that, which I like too. I find myself preferring that content on YouTube as well. And I think... And it made me think of this because you were talking about wanting a sense of wonder on your channel. It makes me feel like because of everything that the collective world has been through in the past 2 years, regardless of how you feel about it, you know, we've all been going through it. I think everybody is really looking for like those simple things in life that they can like derive some comfort and pleasure out of because there's just not a lot of it to be had, you know, like not a lot of hope.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's going to do really well because I think people really want that now. They really want to be able to go outside and have their like mind blown by like a tree or the stars or something like that because, you know, day-to-day life is kind of rough right now, to say the least.
It is. And when you look at something close enough, you will discover just everything is so interesting if you look closely enough at it. I started my avocado YouTube channel thinking, oh, avocado trees, great. And after a year, I was like, I know everything there is to know about avocados. Feel like, you know, that beautiful Dunning-Kruger effect where I was like, I am an expert. And now 4 years later, it's like, please don't call me an expert. I'm just exploring this kind of stuff. And I'm excited about it and I'm learning lots because like the closer in I get, it's just like there is more to learn here. It's like I'm starting to like read scientific papers like I don't know, I'm not trained in biology, I need to like do some more learning here. This is amazing. And just all sorts of things. And that's not just avocado trees, that's everything in the world. Everything is just so detailed and interesting and wonderful. And I'm hoping to capture a bit of that with my new channel.
It's very exciting. Have you, this is not plant related at all, and we didn't previously discuss this, but have you been following the new telescope that just went up?
The James Webb, I have been. Things have gone as well as we could have hoped, which is
cool.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see the first photos that it takes in 5 months' time.
It's
going to be great.
I knew literally nothing about it. I don't know how I missed any news of it until recently, but I watched a video on it, and that sent me down this video spiral, for like hours, just like watching every video I could about it, and then of course remembering all the things that the Hubble has shown us, that we didn't know before, and it's like, it was the first time I felt like really excited, like about something that like governments are doing together, or like things that, I don't know, it's just like really exciting to think about. Like, we're going to know some stuff we didn't know before. I feel like it's been a while, and I feel like no one cares.
I get...
Like, where is the excitement?
I get excited about that exploration. I'm a big fan of sci-fi, Star Trek. I just love it. Just the idea of exploration and learning new things and finding new places. And not that we're going there, because
yes,
we can't, but
yes,
to be able to see things and learn things is going to be awesome. I'm very excited for this next chapter in humanity's understanding of space. It's
yes, if editing me, remember to put a link to something about it below. So if you're interested, you can check that out too, because it's really awesome. And I think everyone should be way more excited about it, because there's just not a lot to be stoked about right now. So, and that almost didn't get funded. And at the risk of going off on a rant, that telescope costs about the same as 4 of our war jets, and it almost didn't get funded. And that's very frustrating to me. So that's why I think more people need to have their mind blown by simple little things, and not simple things like space, or we're going to lose all this stuff,
I think there's so much to learn, and learning is exciting. I'm a teacher by trade. And I think I just like teaching and learning. So it's fun. I don't know how I'm going to get this Monstera out of this pot. It's been in here for 2 years, and I'm just going to roll it.
I'm currently risking injury with chicken wire, so wish me luck.
I'm going to make a mess. And lose a lot of soil. Oh, making a mess.
So, let's see. Oh, another thing that Scott does that maybe some of you would not be familiar with is every year on the holiday season, Scott puts together a very large collaboration, a musical carol among the plant community. So I will also make sure to link those below. But maybe, Scott, you can tell me a little bit about that. And that's why I call Scott the mayor of PlantTube sometimes, because he's often at the center of these large collaborations that bring a lot of creators together, and I think that's important. So why don't you...
Oh, that's very kind of you, Pam. Yeah, so it's the wrong time of year now, but of course you can still go and watch them. We've done, the last 3 years now, we have done a big collaboration where we've had 10 or more people. This year we had 15 people involved, where we made a Christmas carol, which... We come together. I do a lot of community music in my life, and so and loving bringing people together to work on projects. I think there's really something beautiful about collaboration and working together to make something beautiful, and or just something together. I think it's that you couldn't do as a single person. I think that the efforts of many people are different to the efforts of one person.
Absolutely.
And it's just really lovely to be able to have lots of people come on board, have a bit of fun, get a bit silly, make something fun and interesting, and that people can enjoy. And we've done that for 3 years in a row now. It's a lot of work.
I bet.
But it's something that I really enjoy. And we got that Monstera out. Oh.
That's a great...
It's going to enjoy a bigger pot.
I didn't make it to this year's, but I have done them before, and it's a really good time.
You've done the last 2 years, though.
Yes, and I'll be back next year. I'm going to plan a little better. But...
Wonderful. I have no idea what we're going to do in 2022, so we'll... but that's okay.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah, I think, and a lot of people don't realize, a lot of times, if you see a lot of plant tubers that are friends, a lot of times that happens because of these kind of collaborations that the community puts together, outside of our circle even. I know that a lot of people that I'm pretty close with, to this day, really, we got tight in those group chats that, you're planning the collab in, and a lot of the group chats will keep going for months after the collab's over, and It's just really cool. I hope we can kind of do more of that this year, because I feel like last year it wasn't quite as many.
I think people were a bit tired last year. I think there was a lot of burnout generally, and just with the pandemic. Are we able to use that word on this channel? Are we going to get censored? Shall we use
no, I don't care. It's fine.
The virus.
I say much worse.
That's okay. I think that people were tired, and it's difficult to be really creative when you're in a space of burnout. So I'm hoping that people are having a better understanding of their own mental health and their creative processes and what's good for them and what's burning them out. Partly, so that we can get these cool collaborations, but also mostly for their own well-being.
Yes, and I know that the people watching this have all noticed, as well as us, that probably some of your channels that you may have watched before have posted videos recently saying they're either kind of done making plant content, or they're just changing their plant content because they found that they were either collecting an unhealthy amount of plants or spending too much money, or perhaps they had too many plants than they have energy to care for them, which was a problem I ran into. And I think it's kind of cool because it's the community, and I think that's another reason why people are looking more toward that like lifestyle, simple pleasures kind of content, because not everybody wants to keep buying more plants and buying more plants. And those videos are still popular, of course. There's still a market for them, but I really do like the way that the community is sort of evolving into this post-craze place.
I agree. I think that there's still the things which trouble me in just the way that we talk about plants, and in different local Facebook groups where people are posting memes. We really have, over the last couple of years, glamorized just accumulating plants, just getting more and more and more.
Absolutely.
And we've seen this, and there's been different issues in regards to rare plants, but I think that what is really unhelpful to people is just that drive to accrue lots of plants. It's very nice. We get that lovely dopamine hit when we get new stuff, and that's very exciting. And but when we actually take home the plants and then they start dying, and it's like, we don't like that. That makes me feel bad. Am I a bad person? Am I questioning my self-worth? Am I a fraud?
Mm-hmm.
That's not helpful. And people, I think that this conversation, we're now entering a space where that's shifting a little bit, and I'm really encouraged by that. Listening to the latest episode of the Potted Together podcast, where amongst other things, they just discussed that you should expect plants to die because, well, partly it's a natural part of life. It happens.
Yes. Yep.
But also, if you're going in with the expectation you're never going to kill a plant, and then you do, that's going to be, very unsettling for you.
Yes. Especially when you use that language, I killed the plant, like instead of the plant died.
Yeah, or when we joke about being plant murderers, it's like, that's not helpful. That language is very strong. And
yes.
Like, even if we're joking about it, are we actually joking about it? Or do we believe that a little bit about ourselves?
Especially when that plant cost you a ton of money. I think that's like another... It was really funny to be like, I kill plants when they were all $12, But now it's like, you might have just invested in something you thought you were going to have for 15 years or something, and it just dies. Then now you have to feel guilty about two different things, and that's no good for anybody. So I definitely understand why so many people burned out so hard on the plants, because I don't think that kind of routine and like upkeep fits everyone's lifestyle, first of all, especially post-pandemic or whatever.
Certainly not.
I mean, I definitely had to start looking at my collection in a way where it was like, how do I make this so that it's really easy for me to take care of them? So if that means I've got to leave jugs of water around the house so that if I see a plant that's dry, I can just quickly water it without having to go to the sink, hook up the water filter, fill up a thing, stand there while it fills up, inevitably walk away and get distracted, hear water hitting my kitchen floor, go, oh, and then run back in and then have to mop it all up. And that is something I do at least once a month. So I had to like start really thinking about stuff like that. Like, how do I make this as easy on myself as possible? Because my plants were dying because of me.
Yeah.
Because I was overwhelmed.
And when we have so many plants, it's just that extra bit to take care of. And we have super fussy plants or plants that we don't know enough about. We haven't quite worked out how to care for them. It's really easy to kill plants or just be overwhelmed. And hobbies, things we do for fun, shouldn't burn us out. They shouldn't be a chore. They shouldn't be...
I agree.
They shouldn't make us feel stressed or sad or unhappy. They should be things which bring us joy. And I think there's a threshold which we can cross where we stop having fun and we start just have to maintain all of these things to keep them alive. And this is true for any hobby, but especially, you know, when there are living things involved or when we have to maintain something. You know, I think a lot of people are experiencing this with social media, people who become or try to stir up a following, and then there's focusing on algorithms and, oh, if they don't post, then we're going to be punished by the algorithm. It's not going to, and that's not helpful either. And that you know, I don't like how algorithms do that sometimes, but also I haven't really seen that by posting regularly or not. I think we need to do things for us as well and do things for fun.
Yes, and it's very easy to like get something started. And then when it comes to maintaining it, that's a whole other thing. Too
easy sometimes to get things started. I'm actually not sure how many YouTube channels at the moment. So the Skull Grows an Avocado Tree, which I put out regular videos on. I also have a running channel. I have a running vlog with a friend, which we started with. That's coming on 2 years old as well now. Not many people watch it, but we do that mostly for each other and ourselves. It's really good to... I was trying to get back into running, and I was like, I'm going to start a running channel. I was chatting with him about it, and he's like, oh, I'd like to do that as well. So we eventually got together, and we each make a weekly video just detailing our things, the things we're learning, what we've been up to, and that's served a fantastic purpose because I have now really established my running habit. I'm very intentional about it, and I've got goals, and it's great. But
yes.
I think
that accountability.
Yes, accountability is good. But you're doing things for fun, doing things for us. Who are you serving here? What purpose does doing this have in your life? Is it to gain followers? Which that's a reasonable goal. But if that's your only goal, if that's not happening, you're going to have a bad time.
Yes, and it's very easy for that not to happen. And I've seen plenty of people, you know, who are great creators, are great people, you know, struggle getting those followers, and boy, they take it hard. And you have to remember how many things are at play, you know, and a lot of it is luck, and people will tell you left, right, and sideways, it's hard work, it's all you gotta do, you just gotta keep posting and do it every day, and to some extent that is true, but there's a lot of other stuff that goes into it, you know? It doesn't hurt to be extremely attractive. It doesn't hurt to have money so you have a nice set, a nice camera, nice sound, nice audio. It doesn't hurt to maybe have the ability to stay home and make those videos most of the hours of the week. Like, there's so much that goes into that stuff. And Scott and I were actually talking about this the other day, and like how dangerous it can be to compare yourselves to other creators and stuff, and how much better it is to just be really excited for them and let it motivate you instead of making you feel bad about yourself.
Because we have a lot of friends in this space who are doing amazing things.
Incredible.
And sometimes it's easy to look at them and go, I wish I had that.
Yep.
Well, but celebrating what they've done because these people have done marvelous things is better for everyone.
Absolutely, and it becomes very easy with practice as well, because as soon as you stop making that about yourself, it's like you start realizing that when someone in the community is doing well, that's good for everybody because we got this whole community.
Absolutely, I need to get some more tape.
Go for it. I think I've just got to attach mine to this very slapped together moss pole that I just made. But it worked. I mean, it's doing the job.
I'm using one that I purchased because I've made moss poles before, but I'm just a bit tired, and I quite like I prefer using coconut sequoia whenever I can, as opposed to moss.
Yes, this is actually the last of my new bag. I'm hoping to not buy anymore. I'm gonna keep trying to clean it. Someone told me that I can boil it, which I was not. That's always been what's hesitating.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
been
gonna reuse
nervous.
some of mine as well.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I was always afraid I'd be passing the algae along or whatever was all over it. So I'm gonna try the boiling, and then I don't want to buy it anymore because it's not good for the planet.
We want to do things sustainably.
Yes.
And coconut, oh my gosh, using coconut is ridiculously sustainable, because otherwise it would just be thrown out, because we farm this stuff.
Yes.
And, oh man, that's really frustrating. This one has been poorly planted for a long time, and it's just I'm gonna have to try and fix this. It's what really wants to grow that way, like the trunks, the stem's growing that way. So I'm gonna need to try and somehow correct that. So I'm just gonna pop that one up there and hope it grows upwards. Okay, Pam, I think mine is, I think I'm just about done for now. I need to top dress my soil with some stones, because otherwise, dear Luna the cat, who looks very similar to Duncan, is going to use it as a toilet. She has killed a number of avocado trees, actually, by using them as a toilet. You know, we give her clean litter. It's immaculate often. And yet, if there's a plant in it, toilet.
I was very fortunate when I got Duncan. I was very scared. For people who are new to my channel, Duncan is only about a year old, and I had a cat named Jamara before that, who was 16 when she passed away, and broke my absolute heart because I loved that cat so much. So I went out and I ended up putting in for an adoption, figuring it would take a long time because of COVID. And no, it took about a week before they called me. And initially they were going to give me a different cat that was older. And I started to worry, oh no, what did I do? Because what if this cat eats plants? And then what if I just ruined my whole life? So when I got Duncan, I was really nervous. I was like, he's going to eat the plants. I'm so worried. And it's like they don't exist. He likes to dig in the dirt. He's like your kitties, where I think he'd probably pee in it too if he could get the leverage. But he definitely likes to dig. So I'm now learning to top dress as well, which is something I never did before.
Yeah, for these big pots that are on the floor, they need stones when we have cats. Yeah, our cats aren't really nibblers. Magnus occasionally will grab a succulent especially and run away with it. So we've dealt with that. We've put them in, we've found succulents under the bed. It's like, what is going on here, Magnus? Not eaten or anything. He just likes to grab them and run away with it. We do need to be careful not to poison our cats, but that's when especially when we get the cat, that's about training that plants are not for biting.
Yes, and especially if you know your cat is a biter, because people ask me all the time how you have poison plants all over your apartment. Oh my gosh, you're gonna kill your cats, blah blah blah. The thing is, you have to know your cats. Some cats really they're not interested in chewing plants. They may have one kind of plant, so you just have to watch them. So spider plants, for example, most cats will eat those. So I have 1 or 2 spider plants. 2, the other one came back to life. So those are up very high where my cats can't get them. And otherwise, they really don't eat the leaves or anything, but Jack will eat the dry ones. So if dry leaves fall off onto the ground, I have to pick those up or he will eat them. Yes, so I have to sweep a lot. That's kind of my only real cat thing. But my only other cat tip for people has always been crowd the surface, because they will not jump on it if they don't think they can safely land. And 2, just remember that poison plants taste bad. And for the most part, you'd have to have a really weird cat to just keep eating a toxic plant until it got sick and died. So.
And we keep in mind that these plants, like Monstera delicious, any aroid, they've all got the same compound, which name I'm forgetting. Calcium oxide, I don't know. Cut that out if I'm wrong. Calcium oxidate?
Put it on the screen.
It's on the screen because I can't remember everything. It is toxic. It's toxic for people as well, but you need extremely high levels of it to do any damage. You're most likely to give your animal a sore tummy. Mm-hmm. There's not many documented cases of serious damage. But in saying that, we want to avoid them eating it at all costs.
Yes.
And keeping them on shelves in inaccessible places where it's harder for them to get to. Keeping pet safe plants on the floor, like palms. Palms are great, non-toxic. Cats love to eat palms because they've got those beautiful long stringy leaves. Fine. Calathea, if you can keep them alive, safe for cats. There are lots of safe plants. So keep the ones which we are concerned about away. And if you do notice a pet eating one, just monitor it, because if it's showing any strange signs,
yes,
off to the vet.
And you will know. You'll know. You want to get any standard pet care advice. You make sure the litter box, nothing weird's going on in there when you change it and stuff like that. You pay attention to your animals, and you should be fine. And then, of course, there's all these very smart people that have their plants in glass cabinets. You can do things like that. You can have them under glass cloches if you have something that cats like to chew on that's maybe smaller. There's plenty of ways to cat-proof.
They're very much creatures of habits, and if they're not biters, they're probably not going to become biters. They're set in their ways.
But show us your plant. You're done, right? Let's see how it looks.
So this is going to be much happier now. I'm going to take these into the sink to water in a sec. This is my very sad root-bound underwatered Monstera deliciosa, which is now going to do much better. I have no idea where I'm going to put it yet, because it's now too big. It was living on a desk, and I think it's going to be too big for a desk.
I like that pot.
And then I've got these cuttings that I just repotted, so
very nice.
They're going to be great as well. Show us what you've got, Pam.
I've got the brandy, this little makeshift. All I did was just coil some light chicken wire into a tube-like shape with some moss in between. This I don't expect will be in this pot for maybe more than like 6 months, so that'll be a nice little temporary thing that I can easily switch out later. And we're gonna hope
that
it stays alive, because it's gonna have to adjust to dirt now. So sorry, soil. So don't yell at me, people. Soil.
Potting medium.
Potting medium. What do they say in England? What is it? What do they call it? It's not just potting mix, just potting mix maybe.
We didn't talk about our potting mix.
I know. What did you use?
I used kind of my go-to mix at the moment is 1 part perlite, 1 part coconut coir peat, and today I actually mixed. I'm running out of worm castings, so I use worm castings which I grow, and I'm just about ready to harvest my next batch, but they're not quite ready, and I'm nearly out.
Very cool.
So I substituted that with a little bit of just cheap potting mix.
Nice,
and throw in some slow release fertilizer for good measure.
I'm actually using some De La Tanks that has a little bit of ocean forest mixed in. I was using the ends of 2 bags, so we have a little bit of a mixture in here. So it's chunky, well draining. Could probably be a little bit more well draining because of the ocean forest is a little dense, but I think it'll be okay for now. We'll see. But all right, well, I have to go pick up my boyfriend, and thank you so much, Scott, for coming on my channel. It's been a pleasure, awesome.
Pam. I have had a great time.
Yes, and let's do this again. We collab well together, so now that I'm back in business, I would very much like to do more things. And everybody, please go check out Scott's new channel. It's going to be really awesome. You can learn some stuff, enjoy the simple things, the wondrous things, the amazing things that are on this planet, and get off the internet for a little while after that, and then go touch some grass. That's right.
Absolutely.
We're all gonna influencers to get you to touch grass. That's the goal for 2022.
The first video is up now, so you can go and watch me nerd out to trees for a bit. So trees are fantastic. Trees are amazing. Lots of things to learn. So thank you, Pam, for having me. Please do come and subscribe to, Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. We're still making videos there, of course, but what I'm really excited about is that's pretty cool. The links are in the description. Thanks, Pam.
Thank you. All right, everybody, I will see you in the next one. And as always, you have some people you want to see on the channel, drop them down below. Go check out Scott, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye. Careful, wise, looking out for them. They really are. And if they are things which eat things, and we give them things which eat that didn't come out very well. Wow. Sorry, you're going to have to cut this bit.